Welcome to the Christian Mental Health Advocate Podcast, hosted by comedian The Whole Shebang Rich Jones. For the next few moments, let this be your safe space. Here is your host, The Whole Shebang Rich Jones.
Hallelujah, hear them sing. Angels laughing on golden wings. Every gig's the whole shebang. Rich Jones sure knows how to bang.
I'm here, man. Go easy. So, you know what that's from. That's from Full Metal Jacket. So, yeah. Like, I've watched some pretty weird movies. Actually, it's kind of funny because I did a comedy show at some church, and they paid me with cash. And of course, I don't usually take my wallet or my keys and whatever on the stage with me. So I had left my wallet in my bag. And then after the show, I went to Walmart and they had Full Metal Jacket for like $5, I think, in the $5 bin, and I was like, well, that's a good one to add to my collection. So I ended up buying it. But usually they'll card you for R-rated movies, like some stores will. Walmart does. And like I was thinking, oh man, I left my wallet in my bag. But it was funny because like of all the movies in the world, they didn't card me for Full Metal Jacket, and I was just like, okay, that's kind of strange. But then later on, I went to Meijer and I got carded for a Sharpie, whatever. I'm like, seriously? I'm like, how old do you have to be to buy a marker? And they're like 18. I was like, really? Like, this must be a big problem if like kids are buying markers and sniffing them. That's kind of odd, but. Anywho, I digress. So, today's title, Guardians of the Household, the Power of Discernment in What We Watch. Okay, so, and a lot of this is directed towards men, or the husbands of the household, who are the head of the household and the leaders. It's crucial for us to be intentional about what we allow into our minds and homes through TV, movies, and video games. I'd like to just encourage the men, especially, to take responsibility for what you watch and to lead your families effectively and to build a culture of godliness and within the home. And I'm just as guilty. Like, I watch Game of Thrones, whatever, and it's crazy because I watch it for the story. I mean, it's a compelling story, whatever. Like, just human relationships and everything, but there is some graphic stuff in there, and like I can't justify watching it, but I do watch it, whatever, because I like the story. But it's crazy though, because I never struggled with pornography, and people are gonna say you're a liar. I'm like, no, that's not true. I never struggled with it because my dad always respected my mom. I had 2 older sisters, and it was just never around me. My dad, I thank my dad for being a man of God. He never had it. Actually, one time, my mom got some magazine donations for the VA center, and one of them was like a Playboy or whatever. My mom's like, well, I don't want to give this dirty magazine to these old guys, whatever. So she ended up bringing it home, and then she put it in my dad's dresser drawer and pretended like she found it. And she's like, what is this? And he's like, I don't know where that came from. That's not mine. Whatever. And like, she was just kept like pressing him on it, whatever, and he was getting mad because obviously it wasn't his. But it was pretty funny, like his reaction and everything. So, anywho, but no, I was never into that, and it's a blessing. I mean, I've, like all men, like we've all struggled with lust, and I'm not exempt from that. But I grew up on 60s sitcoms, so like if I just saw like Jeannie or like Samantha from Bewitched, like I always thought they were like real pretty and stuff, and yeah, I mean, but that was like the extent of my fantasies, was like having I Dream of Jeannie like grant me wishes or something. I don't know, that's weird. But anywho, so I want to say why it's crucial for men to be discerning about what you watch. And 1 Timothy 4:12 says, let no one despise your youth, but set the believers an example in speech, in conduct, in love, in faith, and in purity. Men are called to set an example in all areas of life, including the media consumption, as it influences how they lead their families. It's like if you were playing video games, whatever, and you're like just shooting up people, I mean, your child might think, hey, he doesn't think too highly of like life or whatever. And I don't know, that's a stretch, but and even with video games, like I just play old games or whatever, and I played Resident Evil in college and stuff, but that's just zombies. But yeah, I don't know. I can't play first person games too much anyway because I get motion sickness real bad. Like I played GoldenEye when it came out, but I could only play for like 20 minutes or I'd get like motion sickness really bad. But some people are, I mean, they're on there every day, like shooting people and playing these war games, like Medal of Honor, and yeah, there's a bunch of them. I don't like Grand Theft Auto, whatever. Like, yeah, it's I don't know. But men are called to set the example. Media consumption impacts mental and emotional health, character, and actions. Leaders are shaped by what they see, hear, and digest. And it's almost like when Jesus said, hey, if your left foot causes you to sin, cut it off, or right foot causes your right foot, yeah, or your left hand or your eye or whatever, if it causes you to sin, cut it out. And he's not saying literally mutilate yourself. He's just saying the places you go, the people you associate with, the things you do, what you watch, what you see, like cut it out of your life. Or like, I mean, there's sometimes like I would do things if I went, like say I went to like a bar or something like that, like I would be more prone to drink or whatever because I feel like I had to with friends or whatever, but I'm not a drinker. But for example, or maybe you're a kleptomaniac or whatever, and like you like to go to certain stores or whatever, and like it's easy to take something or whatever. Well, then quit going to that store so you won't be tempted, whatever, or quit. You got to cut things out of your life, and I'm no different. I mean, I've struggled with these issues and everything. Proverbs 4:23, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. The things that you put in your mind, like those, especially for guys, we're so visual. These images in our heads, it's hard for us to get rid of. What we watch shapes our hearts and minds. Men need to protect their hearts from the content that can harm or distort their leadership and their family relationships. So when I do watch Game of Thrones, whatever, I've watched it with my wife before, and she knows. I mean, there's no getting around it anymore. Like Hollywood just always throws something in, and like whatever. I mean, she knows I'm not into that because I'll just be like, oh, here comes something else, or whatever. Like, so she knows I'm not into that, whatever, and that's a blessing that she trusts me and everything. But that's the one thing. If I ever have a son, that's what worries me, is because I have a daughter, whatever, and I want her to know that I respect women, and I'm going to teach her, actually, when she gets older, I'm going to take her on dates and show her how she needs to be treated, how men should treat women. But if I ever have a son, the thing that worries me is if I have like Game of Thrones or something that has some graphic stuff in it, that my son might think that it's okay, or those images might contaminate him. That's one thing that worries me. So I'm probably going to have to eventually just get rid of it all, whatever. The changing landscape of movie and TV ratings. For example, in the 80s, films that were rated R were often restricted to more extreme content like explicit nudity or violence, but today the R-rated movies feature language and violence that would have been considered X-rated a few decades ago, and that's crazy to think. What's rated R today would have been X-rated when I was a kid. In the 80s, an X-rated movie was rare and extreme. It was extreme rating, typically reserved for explicit adult content. Today, R-rated movies frequently feature material that would have been deemed inappropriate for mainstream audiences back then. There's a cultural shift. Romans 2:12 says, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind. So we need to constantly get into the Word of God and constantly have our prayer life and relationship with God. I mean, we can't get through this life on our own. As the media standards change, Christians must be aware of how cultural shifts are influencing the type of content that's being normalized. The call to resist the urge to conform to the world standards and instead choose purity. Yeah, I was alive when they first put explicit lyrics on CDs, whatever. And I used to have to edit some of that stuff out when I would DJ for like teen clubs and stuff. And nowadays, like certain words, whatever, like the ones that are less like shock value, whatever, they're more accepted. We're starting to accept things a lot more, and it's crazy. I substitute teach often, and kids say F-bombs every other word half the time. And like, I remember I said one time in a conversation when I was playing football, whatever, I said it in a class and I got 3 detentions for it. Kids nowadays, they'd have detention for the rest of their lives after one day of school. It's crazy. Whatever. Hell, it's been so accepted and they've gotten away with it for so long. The impact of explicit content and how to combat it.
Feeling stressed, anxious, or overwhelmed, your finances could be the culprit. Taking charge of your money can boost your mental health. Stop worrying about bills and card declines. Track your spending to see where your money goes, then create a budget that works for you. Start saving even a little and watch your stress melt away. Financial freedom isn't about being rich, it's about being in control. Take these steps and watch your confidence soar. Your future self will thank you.
Hey, amazing listeners. Your support for the Christian Mental Health Advocate podcast means so much. Let's talk about forgiveness. The song 70 times 7 by Joey Tessmaker reminds us that God's forgiveness is limitless. He wants us to forgive freely, just as he does for us. It's not about keeping score, but about letting go and embracing grace. Next time you struggle to forgive, remember, it's about the heart, not the numbers. Keep spreading love and forgiveness.
Hey, I know you hurt my feelings, yeah, it's true. But the Bible says I gotta forgive you. 70 times 7, that's what I gotta do. So here I go. 1, 2, 3, wait, are we at 2? 70 times 7, I'm counting every day. You cut me off in traffic, but it's okay. I forgive you once, I forgive you twice, but hold up, I gotta check if I'm counting right. 70 times 7, I'm still on the grind. Did I count that right? Wait, let me rewind. I'm forgiven, you're forgiven, we'll be just fine. But I gotta keep track. Oh, did I miss line 9? You took my fries and you didn't say sorry. Now I gotta forgive you, but it's getting blurry. I tried to count, but I lost my place. Was it 43 or 62? I need grace. 70 times 7, wait, I'm almost there. Forgiveness on repeat like I'm stuck in midair. You talk behind my back, but that's alright. Forgiveness is forever, I'll just count all night. 70 times 7, that's a lot of math. You made a joke, but I'm not mad. I'm just here forgiving, keeping track of the sum. Wait, how many times have I forgiven you? Oh. 77 or 43? Did I skip some numbers? Someone help me, please. I'll forgive you, I swear, but I'm losing count. I gotta keep adding up like it's my bank account. 70 times 7, no need to stress. Forgiveness is a gift and I'm doing my best. to me, but I'll let it slide. Wait, was that 12? Or did I go to 9? 70 times 7, I'll get it straight. I forgive you, bro, it's never too late. So let's all forgive and give grace a try. But next time, can we just count on a calculator? High. 70 times 7, yeah, that's the goal. We'll forgive each other and we'll all stay whole. But next time, let's just count on the Lord, 'cause my brain's not cut out for this math sword.
Wow, what a journey we've been on. That song, 70 times 7, really hits different, doesn't it? It's got that raw emotion that just grabs you. Now let's dive back into our main show. We're returning to the Christian Mental Health Advocate podcast, where we explore faith, wellness, and everything in between. Get ready for some real talk, some inspiration, and maybe even a few aha moments. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming up next. So stick around and let's continue this incredible conversation together.
The danger of becoming desensitized to explicit content in movies and games, it's there. 1 Corinthians 6:18, flee from sexual immorality. Watching explicit content can lead to moral compromise and weaken one's spiritual health. Just like Joseph had to flee from Potiphar's wife. Flee from it. Get away from it. Like sometimes that's the most spiritual thing you can do, is run. And that's saved me a few times in relationships from it going any further than it did. And I'm glad God was... I used to wonder to myself, would I be strong enough to say no? I'm not, but God's more powerful, and God was there. So many men struggle with pornography, violence, and other explicit content in films and video games. Over time, these can desensitize a person to sin and make it harder to live out a godly life. So what's kind of strategy for those struggling with this sort of explicit content? Accountability. That's probably one of the best things. Find a trusted friend or mentor to be accountable to. Consider using software filters like Covenant Eyes or Net Nanny to help. Those can cut out some of the cursing or the scenes in a movie. It might make for, like, you not knowing everything that's happening with the story, but I mean, maybe you shouldn't be watching it to begin with. I don't know. Renew your mind. Engage in regular Bible study, prayer, and fasting to keep your mind focused on things that are pure and noble. It's important that we do read the Bible, that we are in the Word. Ephesians 5:3-4. But among you there must not be even a hint of sexual immorality or any kind of impurity or of greed, because these are improper for God's holy people. And then Philippians 4:8, finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent and praiseworthy, think about such things. And more importantly, for ourselves, we need to protect our children and why they should be guarded from this explicit content. So there is importance in leading by example for the next generation. Children are highly impressionable. I got a 14-month-old, and she's watching everything I do. What they watch will shape their worldview, their relationships, and respect for others. Psalm 78:5-7, he decreed statutes for Jacob and established the law in Israel, which he commanded our ancestors to teach their children, so the next generation would know them, even the children yet to be born, and they in turn would tell their children. Teaching children the importance of guarding their eyes and their hearts early in life is crucial for their development in respectful and responsible adults, so that they become that. The negative consequences of exposing children to inappropriate content at a young age is that they may become desensitized, lacking empathy for others, or fail to see the destructive nature of sin. For example, allowing young children to watch violent video games or sexually explicit movies may make them less sensitive to the needs and dignity of others. Yeah, it's crazy. How teaching children boundaries now will help them make wise decisions when they grow older. That's something we need to set, is those boundaries. Proverbs 22:6, start children off the way they should go, and even when they are old, they will not turn from it. So building a healthy media consumption habit at a young age will set them up for success in the future. Maybe you need to put a time limit on that iPad, or definitely check their browser history. Practical strategy for families, setting media boundaries. So we're going to talk about how to create a media plan for your household. Establish clear boundaries for what types of media are acceptable for adults and children. And then set a designated family movie night with age-appropriate films. And consider using sites like Plugged In to get reviews and ratings from a Christian perspective. Avoid media that glamorizes violence, immoral behavior, or sexual content. Pretty much Quentin Tarantino movies, although I have enjoyed some of his movies. Teach your children how to evaluate media for themselves based on biblical principles. Some practical tips for reducing temptation and fostering a healthy media environment. Set tech-free zones and times. So designate areas like the dining room or the bedroom as a tech-free zone to encourage conversation and family bonding. Yeah, and my wife's on me all the time. Put your phone down and play with your daughter. I'm just checking to see like when her appointment is or something like that. Or I don't know, that's my excuse. But yeah, I mean, everybody's always got to check their social media. Oh, he might have liked my status. I got to see what he said. That's what happens. So, use parental controls. Set up appropriate parental controls on streaming devices and video game consoles. I do not like open-ended games because I know I'll never win. Because I'm like a seasonal gamer. Like I'll play for like a month or two and then I'll put it away for 6 months and then I'll get it back out. But I play the old games like Mario and Zelda, and Mega Man, pretty much like anything from Nintendo Generation 1 or Super Nintendo or even some GameCube and Xbox. But I'm way behind on the games, whatever. But I mean, children today, I mean, they always got to have like the latest PlayStation or Xbox. But another good thing to do is try to watch content together as a family, providing opportunities for open discussions about the message and themes in each film or show. That's always helpful too, because like, and I think my mom kind of did that with me a little bit too. When I was little, she would like say, hey, this is why this is wrong, whatever, this is why we need to do this, whatever. God didn't teach that. Okay, for example, I was watching Dukes of Hazzard. Has nothing to do with racism. It just had a flag on it, whatever. They were cool to everybody, so don't even go there. But I was watching Dukes of Hazzard, and as an adult, and they said, Luke said, well, you know what Uncle Jesse always says, the Lord only helps those who help themselves. Not true. Uncle Jesse's wrong. And that's a self-defeating argument, because apart from God, we can do nothing. Our strength comes from God. The ability to wake up each morning comes from God. So how can we help ourselves get up if He's the one that gives us the strength to get up? Whatever. And what purpose would the cross have served? Yeah. If we could help ourselves, then Jesus didn't need to die on the cross. So we can't help ourselves. But that's just a discussion point you can use from watching Dukes of Hazzard. I still like Dukes of Hazzard. So I waited 5 hours in line to meet Daisy Duke, so I would say I'm still a fan. But I got to meet her daughters too, and they're pretty cute. So, in conclusion, for this final thoughts. As men, we must take responsibility for what we allow into our lives and homes. We are the gatekeepers of our households, and it is important to actively guard our hearts and minds from harmful content. So I want to give you guys encouragement to take action. If you struggle with explicit content, seek help. Renew your mind through Scripture and set boundaries for yourself and your family. And let's have a call to action. Men, lead your households with integrity, teaching your children to be discerning about the media they consume and guarding their hearts from anything that might lead them astray. And so that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about today. And not too much else is going on. Actually, I was thinking of doing a podcast about what it would have been like if Pyle from Full Metal Jacket would have made it to Vietnam, whatever. Just and people laugh when I say that. Oh, haha, whatever. But no, I'm talking about like his mentality, his mental health, because he would have had serious and severe PTSD, everything. And I've known some people with PTSD, and it's not a good thing. So I was thinking of talking about that on a future podcast. But anyway, hope you guys enjoy. This is one of the reasons I try to work clean and everything, because I don't want to put out negative content, whatever. I don't want people to see me and think, oh, he's dirty, he doesn't respect women, whatever. And I do respect women, and I respect everybody. I try to. So but thank you guys for tuning in. I'm the whole shebang, Rich Jones, and I got a couple of songs I would like to play for you. This song is called Just a Prayer Away, and I encourage you, if you want to know Jesus Christ, all you have to do is just pray and ask Jesus into your heart, and know that you're a sinner, and that for all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God, but Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life, and no one comes to the Father but through him. So it's just a prayer away. People ask, how far is it from heaven to hell? It's about a foot. You hear it with your mind and your brain, and you accept it with your heart. That's a foot. So it's just a prayer away, the kingdom is. And I'm gonna play the song for you I wrote, called Just a Prayer Away, and I hope you guys enjoy. I believe this is Wind Raider. Yeah, Wind Raider played the song for us. So hope you guys enjoy this, and I will talk to you guys later. Peace out.
In the darkness, lost in pain, searching for the light of day. A broken heart, a soul that cries, but hope's alive, and it never dies. Through the valleys, through the fire, His love will lift you higher. When the world says you're alone, His arms will guide you home. Kingdom of heaven, it's just a prayer away. In the stillness, He'll hear you when you pray. No more fear, no more shame. In His grace we rise again. Kingdom of heaven, it's just a prayer away. One word, one heart, and He'll change your day. So lift your voice, call His name. The kingdom's here, it's just a prayer away. In the chaos, find your peace. In His presence, sweet release. A whisper calls, come follow me. And in His love, you're set free. On the mountain, in the deep, His promises, they never sleep. Through every storm and every trial, His mercy meets you with a smile. Kingdom of heaven, it's just a prayer away. In the stillness, He'll hear you when you pray. No more fear, no more shame. In His grace we rise again. Kingdom of heaven, it's just a prayer away. One word, one heart, and it'll change your day. So lift your voice, call His name. The kingdom's here, it's just a prayer away. When you feel you're standing on the edge, He's the rock beneath your feet. With one breath, He'll pull you from the ledge. His love, it's all you need. Kingdom of heaven, it's just a prayer away. In the stillness, He'll hear you when you pray. No more fear, no more shame. In His grace we rise again. Kingdom of heaven, it's just a prayer away. One word, one heart, and it'll change your day. Lift your voice, call His name. The kingdom's here, it's just a prayer away. It's just a prayer away. Kingdom of heaven, it's just a prayer away. In His love we'll find our way. The kingdom's here, it's just a prayer away.
Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to visit richjonescomedy.com and check out the whole shebang. Rich Jones on Facebook and YouTube. Also check out Christian Mental Health Advocate on Facebook and YouTube to learn more. God bless you.